join me in welcoming President Whitaker to the stage. As president of Colorado College, President Whitaker explores how schools can foster curiosity, confidence, and belonging, helping students thrive, not just succeed.
In 2022, there were whispers of AI. In 2024, murmurs. By 2025, ChatGPT, or chat as my students call it, was commonplace. And now in 2026, we are in a full-blown panic. We are terrified that AI is going to ruin education, that students won't develop research, writing, or mathematical skills, and that teachers will become obsolete because why bother with human beings when technology can do it faster? I am not concerned about any of that. Because I know a secret. There is no such thing as extrinsic motivation. Now, you may be wondering what motivation has to do with AI, so let me explain. AI is about what and how people learn. Humans, people, we dictate why we learn. Instead of panicking about the tools we use to learn, we need to focus on the reasons we choose to learn. Here is what I call the motivation equation. It describes why someone would choose to engage in a specific task. There are 3 variables, so let's walk through them together using the oh-so-fun task of doing homework. Students choosing to do their homework is predicated upon 3 things. First, how much they value the outcome of doing homework. Second, their beliefs about their ability to achieve that outcome. And third, the strength of their beliefs about how consistently doing homework will lead to that outcome. The outcome of doing homework is almost always measured by some form of accuracy or completeness that ends in a metric. If I choose to do the homework and do the reading or complete the workshop, I will get the top metric, a star, an A, a check. But notably, that outcome is very rarely excitement, anticipation, or even pride. There is little emotional value. It's all utility value, a transaction. We educators and parents have allowed AI to become a crutch for curiosity because we've taught students that there's no value in figuring it out, that it's black or white, right or wrong. Only then is it a surprise that students value the outcome of learning more than the process of learning. We are losing key cognitive skills that emerge through what we educational psychologists call guided participation, or in other words, through teaching. In focusing on correct answers, the number of references, the beauty of the project at the end, we are circumventing the true purpose of education, which is to learn how to think, not what to think. We've known for quite some time that the beauty of teaching is developmental. Whether the end goal is evaluation or creation, Bloom's taxonomy reminds us that we should be promoting cognition, not content. We teach students what to value, not AI. But thinking, teaching, learning are difficult. And it's not just cognitively draining, but it is emotionally taxing as well. The second variable of our motivation equation is self-efficacy, or the extent to which a student believes they can achieve an outcome of a task. There are 4 sources of self-efficacy. The first, performance accomplishments. Or in other words, if a student has done that task before, it gives them good insight into whether or not they'll be able to do that task again. Second is watching someone similar to ourselves in ways that are relevant to that task complete the task. Third, listening to someone who is knowledgeable about that task, a teacher, a parent, tell us what they believe about our ability to complete the task. And the fourth source of self-efficacy is our physiological response to the idea of doing that task. So beginning with that last indicator, everyone gets a little bit stressed when encountered with a new task. And young people in particular may become embarrassed when others know how to do a task they don't know. So what do? They minimize the stress by figuring out how to do that task. They ask AI. And in that way, AI has become a crutch for confidence. And we have allowed that. Instead of curating environments where students feel safe enough to be vulnerable and to ask questions, we've curated environments where, once again, being right is prized over rigor. AI does not require them to be perfect. AI responds politely and helpfully. For AI, there are no bad questions. So it's true. Students feel safe with AI. But students feel encouraged by us. AI can't leverage what we can. It doesn't know that George's most favorite thing in the world is his dog. It doesn't know that Sarah has a natural affinity for math, or that Noah learns best when engaged in tactile activities. AI is only as good as the data from which it draws. Similarly, teaching and learning are most effective when we draw from all we know about students to move them from point A to point B. AI responds to who a student is now. We respond to who a student can be in the future. And that is how we build their confidence. But too often, students encounter teachers, parents, friends who don't believe in them, who may be too busy for a conversation or too uncertain to answer their questions, or who may be absent altogether. The third variable in our motivation equation, strength of efficacy expectations, is all about reliability. How consistently does doing homework lead to that stated outcome? How predictable is it that if I complete the worksheet, read the book, record the video, that I will get an A? Unlike humans, AI is pretty predictable. It's always there in some form or another, and they can count on AI when they can't count on us. It is fast and responsive, and even asks questions back. It's easy to build a relationship with AI because you get to shape that relationship. AI helps you feel a sense of belonging that may not always come from humans. AI tells you what you want, but not what you need. And that is its danger and our opportunity. We can provide a sense of belonging by developing relationships with students that are reliable and consistent, and where students feel seen and heard. We create the conditions in which students are motivated to learn. We foster curiosity, cultivate confidence, and nurture a sense of belonging. There is no such thing as extrinsic motivation because we can't tell a student what to value. We can't force them to see their abilities the way we see their abilities. And we can't guarantee that A will always lead to B. But we can educate with our heads, our hands, and our hearts. AI cannot replicate that. And that is the foundation and future of learning. Thank you all so much.